Hi Snapchat, welcome back to part 3 of my story. Today I'm in Weybridge, having a look around my old college, which is Brooklands College, where I studied motorsport. There's the old green where we used to play football. Security, let's see if we can get past them somehow. There's a department over there, that's where the workshops were. But that unit there was notoriously known for where the hot chicks were. I don't know if it was like civil services or for some reason. And yeah, a word on that. I remember this building. This building was like where I used to learn about brakes and gearboxes and hydraulic fluids and all sorts of bits. I mentioned also, I remember my primary school, I thought girls don't like me. Went to secondary school, 5 years, didn't have any interaction with girls. Went here, 4 years studying this sort of stuff. There wasn't really any girls on the courses. If so, you can imagine what they were like. If you're a youngster watching this, maybe you're still at college or still at school or something, you're looking to get good, great for you. Break times are important. Position yourself in the right place. That being said, the rules of the playground don't change. You know, when we get older, you may still be wasting your time going to the same places that just aren't giving you a good return on your time. There's a lot of work being done here naturally as it's out of term time. But as we're on the subject of places to go on the campus, I mean, look, there's always like a coffee shop or a canteen. When I was here, it was probably around 2007. That's when I started really getting into this stuff outside of my educational time. And I was slowly developing. Part 1 of this story, I tell you about the girl I met on the escalators. It was a terrible relationship. Well, here I actually met my second girlfriend, and I'm going to tell you a little bit. Coffee hut, I mean, I never really approached anyone in there. Maybe give it some wandering eyes, but did nothing. Waste of my college years. Jack Sheffield, James Roche Mags, you remember those days. We had some very, very amusing moments. So yeah, it looks like they're doing a bit of work on the library there behind me, but naturally I was a guy that left things to the last minute, and I still do. I enjoy the pressure. Like in most cases at the end of the year, I had very, very little time to actually get the exams in, the assessments that I had to do in my own time. So I took myself out to schedule lessons and parked my ass in the library and just knocked it out in like, say, about a month. Now there was a particular time when this girl walked in, and me and my motorsport friends were looking at us. It was a blonde girl, and she walked in. She was with her friend, and I looked at her and I thought, today's going to be different. And just in my head I said, I'm going to take action. I'm going to do something. And I just looked at her and I just knew. Today was different. I was fed up with the situation with that girl I was kind of dating. Looked at this girl and I thought, you know what? I like her. I'm going to do something. But I thought it has to be subtle. It has to be classy. And at the time, Bluetooth had just come out, and I had a new laptop that was one of the first actually. Most people back then, 2007, you got Bluetooth on your phone. You can remember the days of trading like Acon ringtones through Bluetooth or infrared. You'd get a notification on your phones saying so and so is trying to connect to your phone. Do you want a pair? So I just had this aha moment. I just thought, wait a minute, my laptop has this. I changed the name of my device name to Nice Blue Top. I searched the area for the devices that were in range, and I think I can actually remember it was like Blonde with Brains came up, and I connected, and I just changed my device name every time, and effectively it was like instant messaging. My buddies kind of cottoned on and knew what was going on, and they couldn't believe what was actually happening. This went on for the duration of the day. She was actually sitting on the desk opposite me. She came up on a break, sat completely opposite me. I had to keep a real straight face as I was continuing. She had no idea it was me. And on one of the next breaks, my friend actually went up to her and said, "Oh, my friend's having you on. It's him, little fucker." So come the end of the day, I went up to her and I said, "Look, I'm going to have to get your number." And she said, very textbook, "I've got a boy." Talk about this a lot. Most women, they just say this because it's already hardwired to be like a bugger off. Or actually, it could be quite genuine. In this case, I found it was genuine. But what I thought, I just looked and I thought, there's no way, after all that, like nothing's going to happen. So that night, it was the day of the MySpace, and I just looked for, people that were at Brooklands College. I scrolled through her profile, and bang, there she was. She was actually in a profile picture. It wasn't her profile, it was her friend's. I messaged her, and I said, "Look, it's ridiculous. I met with your friend this morning, today in the library, and I need to get her number." As it happens, she was actually seated next to him as I was sending this message. What were the chances? So yeah, that's how I met a girl in college. It was a fantastic approach, and I learned a lot from it. I did learn a lot from it. She actually went on to leave the guy and then date me. Now, I just want to talk about that as well. Like back in the day, when I was younger, I wasn't really bothered if women or girls, had partners, because there wasn't abundance. These days, and obviously I've got a girlfriend, but you know, prior to me having a girlfriend, I have got moral fibre. I don't touch any girl, and I don't believe you should either. You should always need to be coming from a place of abundance, and if you're not coming from a place of abundance, you need to put yourself where there is abundance of women. It's healthy. Just managed to sneak into one of the workshops. The size of these engines, I don't know what the hell they're off. Looks like an aeroplane or something. All the kids kidding up their cars as projects and stuff. What they're learning right now. Wow. The old Brooklyn's race car still here? Wow. That's an old trailer where you put the race cars in, take them to the track. Yeah, in case you're wondering what my project was, actually a go-kart, me and Mr. Jack Sheff. Anyone watching and knows anything about go-karts, yeah, we managed to get hold of an old Barlotti frame, kitted it out, refurbed it, and then 7 years later, that's another thing. As like, you know, motorsport is associated with extreme sports, you know, I've always messed around with like motocross bikes, on-road bikes. I'm not saying you go and do that, because there's an element in danger in anything, but I'm saying practice risk in other areas of your life, so it's not such a big deal in this area. I've taught some remarkable guys. I've taught guys that have been in, you know, war zones. You know, they'll jump out of a tank to go and defuse a mine, but they won't go and approach the hot girl. It's crazy. But obviously, when you break it down and you make them realise something like that, you know, they actually get over the psychological hurdle in their mind. So you just get used to practicing risk, guys. No mind diffusing. I'm actually going to head back to London now because I've got a client at 1 o'clock. I want to do a few shout outs, mention his name a few times. A good friend of mine, shout out to Jack Sheffield, shout out to James Roche, shout out to James Roche Mags, shout out to Helen Gray, shout out to Andrew Thorpe, shout out to Miles, shout out to his twin brother, shout out to Chris Randall, shout out to Michael Taylor, shout out to Adam. Everyone that joined us at Brooklands for those years, thank you for that experience. Alright guys, well yeah, I'm back in London. I'm just on my way to meet a client of mine on my mentorship program. And yes, finally, I've changed my shirt. The client's in the park, he just did the Pokemon opener. It's come out of a great little Pokemon opener, but another thing I've noticed is there's grown men wandering through the park. There's beautiful women around, and they'd rather catch Pokemon than fill up their phone book with numbers. Getting another number in the park with the Pokemon opener. This shit's gold. What just happened there?
Yeah, I just went looking for a Pokemon and there was a very hot girl next to the Pokemon, so I asked if she'd seen it and it was there.
Jokes aside, what actually happened there? What's the end result?
Wrestling with words and eventually I got her number. Oh yeah.
Ooh. We go back in there. Now he's taking her for a coffee. Quick, check it out. That's how you do it, guys. Look, if this is something you want to get good at, don't forget, we got the workshop at the end of the month, July the 30th. Head over to the website and secure your spot. It'll be well worth it. Found him. You're kidding me. I just texted him to take his top off and get a back rub. Amazing. I'm trying to catch up with them, but yeah, he's taking her home now. I mean, look, this is my first day back this week, and great result. Didn't that look so much more fun than, say, using Tinder? You can do this, guys, you know? It's just a way of meeting people. Have fun with it. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed part 3. I've just got back. I'm absolutely exhausted, so I'm going to sign out, but tune in next time for part 4.